The mantra you just heard is called the Saptanadi mantra. It invokes the 7 holy rivers by name and asks them to bestow purity to the invoker, equivalent to taking bath in each of them. Each of these rivers, having flown through India since ancient times, are worshipped as goddesses and have some of the very interesting lores behind them. The holy river was summoned to earth by Bhagirath from the heavens for the salvation of the souls of his 10,000 ancestors. It is said that the river flows by, touching the feet of Lord Vishnu, and rests in Lord Brahma's Kamandalu in the upper worlds, and then descends to earth, flowing gently through the matted locks of Lord Shiva. The holy river is said to absolve the sins of the living and helps the departed souls to attain salvation. The goddess Ganga is depicted as fair-complexioned, crowned in white, holding lotuses and seated on a crocodile. Also known as Kalindi, goddess Yamuna is dark-complexioned like her twin brother Yama, the god of death. Daughter of Surya, the sun god, she plays an important role in Lord Krishna's childhood. Before his birth, there was a divine prophecy that Krishna would bring an end to his uncle's tyrannical rule and lead to his demise. So, to save baby Krishna from his uncle Kans, Vasudev took his son and crossed Yamuna on a stormy night. The river parted once she touched little Krishna's feet, giving them a safe passage through. She is depicted with water urns in her hands and seated on her mount, a tortoise. The only mythical river of the present India, Saraswati, merges with Ganga and Yamuna at Triveni Sangam of Prayagraj, where the mass gathering of Kumbh Fair takes place every 12 years. Even though only Ganga and Yamuna are visible, on the surface, Saraswati is said to join them 40 feet below ground. The river is mentioned in the first 3 Vedas, the Rig Veda, Samveda and Yajur Veda, and not in the last one, the Atharva Veda, and is said to have become invisible because of tectonic disturbances 6,000 years ago. Goddess Saraswati, who initially emerged as a river goddess, eventually rose to be the goddess of knowledge, wisdom, music, art and speech. Probably because Vedic Sanskrit and the divine Vedas themselves were written by her banks. She is depicted as draped in pure white, veena in her hands, and seated gracefully on a swan. Once, sage Gautam tried to shoo away a cow that was feasting on his crops with some harmless blades of grass. However, combined with his yogic powers, as soon as the grass blades touched the cow, it fell dead to the ground. Now sage Gautam had unintentionally committed the supreme sin of Gohatya, the murder of a cow. To absolve him of his sin, the sage did hard penance and appeased Lord Shiva. Shiva appeared before him, and from his matted locks, released an isolated stream of Ganga at the Brahmagiri mountains, nearby sage Gautam's abode, for him to purify himself by bathing in it, where she descended in the form of goddess Godavari. Hence, Godavari is also known as the Ganga of the south. She is depicted as seated on a lotus, holding a coconut on a golden pot, symbolizing purity and prosperity. Once, while meditating on Amakantak hills, the origin of the river, a female form emerged from Lord Shiva. Upon seeing her, Shiva felt a tenderness in his heart, like a father feels for his daughter. Since the emotion Shiva felt was soft or nirm, the goddess was named Narmada. Lord Shiva, like a father, undertook the marriage of his daughter Narmada with the lord of the sea and the guardian of the west, Varuna. She is depicted with a shivling in one hand and a trident in the other, seated on her mount, a crocodile. One of the western branches of the Ganga, the Sindhu River, is the nexus where the ancient Indus civilization came to be. Persian error in pronunciation turned Sindhu into Hindu, while Greeks and Romans called the land around the river Indos or Indus, and hence the river gives rise to both the words. Hindus, the followers of Hinduism, and India, the name of the country, thus immortalizing her name in the culture. Goddess Sindhu is depicted as seated with an ever-flowing pot of water and lotuses in her hands. When a king of the south, King Kaver, prayed to Lord Brahma for a daughter, Lord Brahma blessed him with one, who was an Apsara named Lopamudra. Being the daughter of Kaver, she was named Kaveri. Once Kaveri was of age, she married sage Agastya, but with one condition: that he cannot leave her alone by herself for long. The sage agreed. Once, while traveling through the Vindhya mountains, the sage took Kaveri in the form of water in his sacred water pot, so that he doesn't have to leave her alone at home as per her condition. However, as soon as he set her down on the ground to take a bath in a nearby spring, a strong gust of wind overturned the pot, and Kaveri flowed out and down, southwards towards the ocean as a river. And thus it is said how Kaveri, the river, came to be. Thus, the 7 sacred rivers make up an important part in the mythology and history of the Indian peninsula and distribute life in the form of water throughout the entire subcontinent. Shiva.